Hello everyone, I'm Steven. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about Transformers trading card game battle cards for Wave 1 and show you some things about these cards, starting with
most stars are binary stars. So when you look up in the sky,
there are 81 battle cards in Wave 1. We start with Aerial Recon. Put on planes only. This is a utility. When the upgraded character attacks or defends, look at the top card of your deck. You may scrap it, and it has +1 defense on the bottom left-hand corner, right-hand corner.
with another star, it can actually come back to life by essentially stealing the life force from another star. So
Next up,
like a zombie.
Agility of Bumblebee. This is a utility upgrade, +1 attack. When this is on Bumblebee and he attacks, draw a card. It is only for Bumblebee.
Some of its matter, but there's a limit to how much it can take.
Next up is Armed Hovercraft, +1 attack. When you put this on a ranged character, do 1 damage to each enemy. There's +1 attack on the bottom left corner. Next up is Armored Plating. It's an upgrade, armor, and it has +1 defense. Goes on your right hand side of your character card. Next up is Backup Plan. This is an action card. You scrap your hand and draw 3 cards. Next up is Battle Ready. This is also an action card. Each of your characters gets +1 attack until end of turn for each upgrade on it. Very good card.
They set up some kind of experiment here in this test chamber.
Blast Shield is an upgrade armor. It goes on the right hand side of your character card. After the upgraded character defense, scrap this card. It has +2 defense. Body armor is an upgrade armor. Put on melee characters only, tough 3. So you have to look at your character card and check if he's a melee or not, because if he's not melee, you can't go on him. Melee characters only, and it has tough 3, which means you get to play 3 extra defense cards. Battle cards for defense. Bombing Run. This is an action card. Choose an enemy character, move 1 damage counter from each of your planes to that enemy. That's only for planes, by the way. Brainstorm. Now this is a good card. It's an action card. You may play an action, then you may play another action. Once you play this card, you can play 2 action cards. So you play an action and then you play another action. Make sure you have 2 extra action cards when you play Brainstorm. Otherwise it's useless. Bug Bomb is for the Insecticons only. It's an upgrade utility. It goes on the bottom of your character card. When the upgraded character is KO'd, draw a card. Scrap an enemy upgrade, and your opponent chooses a card from their hand and scraps it. Very good card. Basically, that protects you, because most of the time your opponent does not want to attack your character with Bug Bomb on it until he can get rid of it. Cargo trailers and an upgrade utility. This goes on trucks only. The upgraded character has a +1 attack for each cargo trailer on it. Up to 3 cargo trailers can fit in its utility slot. So you can have 3 of these in your utility slot. This has to be put on when the Autobot is in, when the Autobot or Decepticon is in truck mode only. You cannot put it in on him in bot mode. Once it's put on him in truck mode and you transform it, it still stays and it still counts. Collateral Damage is an action card. Each player chooses a weapon on one of their characters and scraps it. Each player chooses a card in their hand and scraps it. Dangerous card, because it means it affects both of you. Combat Training. This is a utility upgrade. It goes on the bottom of your character card, whichever character you have. While the upgraded character has a weapon, it has bold 1, which means you get to float 1 extra battle card for attacking. While the upgraded character has an armor, it has tough 1, which means you can flip an extra battle card for defense. Computer Sabotage is an action card. Your opponent chooses 3 cards from their hand and scraps the rest. I may not have shown this card, but that's what it looks like. Next up is Crushing Size. This is an upgrade utility. When you put this on a character, scrap an enemy utility. If you can't, draw a card. It also has Pierce 1, which allows you to put the Pierce right through. There's no defense against Pierce. Crushing Treads. This goes on tanks only. It's a utility. It goes at the bottom of your character card if it's a tank. The upgraded character has Pierce equal to its defense total when attacking, but not more than the attack total of your attack of the attack amount on your character card with the attack card battle cards. There are only certain tanks out there, so you have to watch them, because Megatron's a tank, Demolisher's a tank, Blitzwing's a tank, Darkmount's a tank. It also works on Sky Treads, and it works on Quake, and it works on Sky Shadow. Also Warpath, Crosshairs, I believe Ironhide, and Impactor. So you have to look. It will tell you what vehicle type it is on the character card. So there it is, the Crushing Treads. Cybertron Bow. This is a weapon upgrade. It goes on the left-hand side of your character card. When the upgraded character attacks and you flip an equal number of orange and blue, each of those blue adds to its attack total. It also has a +1 attack on it. Next up is Data Bank. At the start of this is a utility upgrade. It goes at the bottom of your character card. At the start of your turn, draw a card. Data Pad is a upgrade utility as well. It goes at the bottom of your character cards. One of your character cards. When the upgraded character attacks, draw a card. Then you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. When you do that, make sure you see if it's a white icon in the top right-hand corner or the orange icon, because that's what you want. As you can see at the top here, it's a white icon. Because white icons, when you flip your first white icon, you get 2 extra flips. So make sure if you have a white icon coming up, put that on the top of your deck. Upgrade utility. This is Debilitating Crystal. It's an upgrade utility. It goes at the bottom of your character cards. One of your character cards. When the upgraded character attacks, return one of the defending character's upgrades to its owner's hand. Next up is Dino Chomp. This is an action card, and it is only for Dinobots. No one else. You scrap your hand when one of your Dinobots gets bold 5 until end of turn. So you have to use, once you put this down on the field, it doesn't go on a character, you put it down on your playmat, and you say that you're using Dino Chomp. After you've put this down, you have to scrap your whole entire hand to the discard pile, because what you're doing is getting bold 5 for one of your Dinobots. It can be Grimlock, it can be Slug, Sludge, Snarl, Swoop. It allows you to flip 5 extra cards on top of the first 2 you flip, so 7 in total. And just think, you might get a white, which means it goes up to 9. Very good card for the Dinobots. I have 3 of these in my Dinobot deck. Disarm is an action card. Return all upgrades on characters to their owner's hand. Very good card. Just think. Your opponent has upgrades on his characters, and you use this disarm. It's bye-bye to all the upgrades on them. Put them back in your hands. Number 24, look at your opponent's hand and scrap an upgrade from it. This is an action card, too. Very good card. Disruptive Entrance. This is an action card as well. Look at your opponent's hand and scrap an action from it. Basically means he has to put his whole entire hand face up in front of you. And you get to decide, okay, I want that card. Upgrade. One of the action cards you want to get rid of is Peace Through Tyranny. Please. If you see that card in his hand, face up from his hand, get rid of it. It's dangerous. Drill Arms is an upgrade weapon. It goes on the left-hand side of your character card. When you put this on a character, scrap an enemy armor if you can't draw a card. You also get +1 attack with this card. It's just like it says. If your opponent doesn't have an armor in any of his characters, you can draw a card. One card. Emergency Maintenance. Action. Repair 1 damage from one of your characters. If you have more stars of characters in your KO area than you have on the battlefield, repair 2 more damage from that character.
But what fate awaits its companion? It's been captured by the
This is an action card as well.
Executioner.
Excuse me.
Supermassive black hole. The star might safely orbit around it for a while.
Okay, I'm back. Just had to get my water and stop the video. Energon Axe is an upgrade weapon. It's put on damaged characters only, so you have to make sure that one of your characters has been damaged, and it goes on the left-hand side of your character. It gives you Pierce 2 and +3 attack added to the attack total of your character. Next up is Equipment Enthusiast. This is an action card. Draw a card for each of your upgrades. So if you have, let's say, you have 4 characters on the field, and you have 3 upgrades on each one of them. That's 3, 6, 9. That's 12 That's 12 draws. Very handy for you because there's no limit to how many cards you have in your hand. You just start with 4. Well, the one who starts first starts with 4. The one who starts second starts with 3 because he draws a card when he starts. Flamethrower is an upgrade weapon. It goes on the left-hand side of one of your characters. It has bold 2, which means you get to flip 2 extra cards, which is a total of 4. Force Field is an upgrade armor. It goes on the right-hand side of one of your character cards. If the upgraded character would take 5 or more attack damage, instead scrap this card and the upgraded character takes 4 attack damage only. It's handy. This card is really good. It's called Fusion Cannon of Megatron. It's an upgrade weapon. It's meant for Megatron only. Goes on the left-hand side of him. Well, this is on Megatron. He has Pierce 3. Plus, he's got +1 attack on top of it. And there's one Megatron character card that I have for my tank deck. It's called Living Weapon, which gives him another Pierce 3, so a total of Pierce 6. Grenade Launcher. This is an upgrade weapon. It goes on the left-hand side of one of your character cards. You get +4 attack with it, and after the upgraded character attacks, scrap this card. So once you're finished your attack, you have to scrap it to the discard pile. It doesn't stay on anymore, which is kind of handy because it means your opponent can't touch it. Handheld Blaster. This is an upgrade weapon as well, and it gives you bold 1, so you get an extra card to flip. Heroism. This is an upgrade utility which goes on the bottom of one of your character cards. If any of your other characters would take attack damage, instead the upgraded character takes that damage. Very good card. Hunker Down. This goes on is an action card, and it says flip each of your characters from bot mode to tank mode. Then for each of your tanks that isn't upgraded with an armor, put an armor on it from your scrap pile. It's basically for tanks only. I Still Function. This is an action card as well. Return one of your KO'd characters that has 12 stars or fewer to the battlefield. Repair 1 damage from it at end of turn. When you put it on the field. At the end of your turn, you KO it. This is actually good for kickback from the Insecticon deck. Trust me, I've used it many times. Improvised Shield is an upgrade armor. It goes on the right hand side of one of your characters. It has tough 1, which means you get to flip an extra battle card for defense. Incoming Transmission. This is an action card. Draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Incoming Inspiring Leadership is an action card. Draw 3 cards, then scrap 2 cards from your hand. Ion Blaster of Optimus Prime is an upgrade weapon. Put on Optimus Prime only. It gives you 2 attack and 1 defense. Jaws of Steel. This is an upgrade utility. It goes on the bottom of one of your Dinobots. It says put on Dinobots only, and it gives that Dinobot bold 2, which means you get to flip 2 extra battle cards on top of the 2 you have, which is 4. Leap into Battle. Action card. One of your characters gets +3 until end of turn. So you can pick any one of your characters, the one you're going to attack with, and he gets +3 on top of his attack total. And then on top of it, the battle cards that you flip, and if you get any orange icons, they get added to the attack total, so boom. Next one is Matrix of Leadership. This only goes on Autobots. Autobots only. It's got the Autobot symbol and it's in red. If it's a red with the name of the card on top and an Autobot symbol in the text box, it means it goes on Autobots only, not Decepticons. While this is on a leader, each of your other characters has +1 and Pierce 1. So make sure you put this either on Optimus Prime or one of the leaders that say leader on the character cards, because Bumblebee will qualify, because some of his character cards, there's a bunch of Bumblebee cards, and some of them have leader on it. Jetfire is a leader, including Captain Jetfire, so I definitely put it on him. And there's some other Autobots as well, including the leaders of the combiners, such as Optimus Prime from Sentinels, Grimlock from the Volcanicus deck, but he's also got there's also a Grimlock character card, a large one, for the Dinobots. He can go on him. It also can go on Silverbolt. And, yep, that's basically it. You can also stick it on Fortress Maximus and Metroplex. Medic is an action card. Repair 2 damage from one of your characters. Multi-mission gear. Upgrade armor. When you put this on a specialist, you may play an action. You get 1 defense. There are some characters that are specialists. That's why this goes only on the specialist. Multi-tool is an upgrade weapon. When you put this on a specialist, you may play an upgrade. If you put it on another character card that's not a specialist, you only get the 1 attack. You don't get the text. New designs. This is an action card. You may play an upgrade. Null Ray of Starscream is an upgrade weapon. This is for Decepticons only. But it states here, while this is on Starscream, he has bold 2 plus 1 attack. But if you put it on any other planes, it only gives you the 1 attack. That's it. One shall stand, one shall fall. This is an action card, famous saying of Optimus Prime. Choose one of your characters and an enemy character. Do 3 damage to each of them. Here's the one I was telling you about. Peace Through Tyranny. It's an action card. You may KO one of your characters that has 6 stars or more. If you do, take an extra turn after this one. Photon Bomb. This is an action card. Do 2 damage to each character. Piercing Blaster. This is an upgrade weapon. It goes on the left-hand side of one of your character cards. Pierce 3. Do at least 3 damage to a character, enemy character, but not more than the attack total of your character card, which means that includes the attack count from your orange icons that you flip. Plasma Burst is an action card. Do 2 damage to an enemy. Power Sword. Upgrade weapon. Put on melee characters only. Bold 3. So you got to make sure you find a melee character for this one, because it gives you bold 3. Primary Laser is it's an upgrade weapon. You get 2+2 attack added to your character's attack total. Ramming Speed is an action card. Scrap an enemy upgrade. Rapid Ascent. This is an upgrade armor. When you put this on a ranged character, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and scraps it. It gives you +1 defense. Make sure you look at the character cards, because some say range, some say specialist, some say melee, and some say also leader plus melee or ranged. So look out for that. Action. Flip one of your characters to its other mode. Rapid Conversion. Ready for Action is an action card. Untap one of your characters that has 10 stars or fewer. Very handy card. Reinforced Plating. This is an upgrade armor. It goes on the right hand side of one of your character's cards. It gives you tough 2, so you get to flip 2 extra battle cards for defense. Repair Bay. This is an action card. Repair 1 damage from each of your characters. Rollout. This is an action card. Flip each of your characters from bot mode to alt mode. That means vehicle mode. Salvage for Parts is an action card. Scrap all upgrades. Repair 1 damage from each character for each upgrade scrapped from it. Scrapper Gauntlets. Upgrade. Armor. When you put this on a character, scrap an enemy weapon. If you can't, draw a card. You also get 1 defense on top. Security Checkpoint. Action. Each player reveals their hand and scraps all upgrades from it. Eek. Not a very good. I don't like this card, because it means you lose all your upgrades, you and your opponent, both of you. No thank you. Shock Absorbers. Upgrade armor. When the upgraded character defends and you flip an equal number of blue and orange icons, each of those blue and orange icons adds to its defense total, and it gives you +1 defense. Start Your Engines is an action card. Flip each of your characters from bot mode to car mode, then untap one of your cars. Static Laser of Ironhide. Upgrade weapon. Now you got to be careful with this card, because if you stick it on somebody else besides Ironhide, you're asking for trouble, because here's the text. When the upgraded character is not Ironhide and it attacks, do 2 damage to it, but you also get +3 attack added. But you're asking for trouble, because if you stick it on another Autobot besides Ironhide, you're getting 2 damage to your character instantly, besides the damage you put to the opponent. Strafing Run is an action card. Do 1 damage to each enemy. Supercharge. This is a very good card. I recommend that when you build your deck, put 3 of these in your deck. It's an action card. One of your characters gets bold 3 until end of turn. That means you get to flip 3 extra battle cards on top of the 2 you flip, so 5. And if you get a white, you can add an extra 2 on top, so that means you got 7. Swap missions. This is an action card. Untap one of your tapped characters, then tap one of your untapped characters. So you're swapping, basically. Swap parts. Okay, this card has been banned from tournament play. You can use it in friendly games, but if you're going to go into a tournament, you cannot have this in your deck. It's banned. You'll automatically get disqualified if they find out that this card is in your deck. Because it's a banned card. It's an action card. Choose 2 of your characters, swap all their upgrades. That's the reason why they banned it. Because one guy used it in his infinite deck in a tournament, and he claimed every opponent he played against. He claimed their clocks. And by the time, and he made it all the way to the finals, and he won the finals. So the judges wanted to check his deck because they wanted to find out if he was cheating or not. They looked through his deck, and then they saw swap parts. Of course, at the time, no cards were banned. So when they saw that card and read it, they said, "That's it. That card is now officially banned from tournament play." So that card is now officially banned. It's number 73 out of 81, and it's a rare in Wave 1, but this card cannot be used. You can use it in friendly games, but it cannot be used in draft, and it cannot be used in tournaments. So you have to take this card out of your deck if you're going in a tournament or a draft. Swarm is an action card. Flip a battle card for each Insecticon you began the game with. For each orange you flip, your opponent chooses one of their characters and does 1 damage to it. For each blue you flip, repair 1 damage from one of your characters. This is for Insecticons. Make sure it goes into an Insecticon deck because you can't use it for anything else but Insecticons. Next up is System Reboot action. Each player scraps their hand and draws 4 cards. Next up is Team Up Tactics. This is an action card as well. Choose one of your characters. If it's a truck, repair 2 damage from it. If it's a car, draw 2 cards. The bigger they are. Action card. One of your characters gets +2 attack until end of turn. While it's attacking an enemy this turn that has more stars than it, gets Pierce 4. Good hand, good card. Just make sure the Pierce 4 is below your attack count, because you cannot use Pierce 4 if your attack count is lower than 4. Then you can only do Pierce whatever the number is for your total attack. Universal Network Access is an action card. Draw 3 cards. Next up is Treasure Hunt. This is an action card. Scrap the top 4 cards of your deck. Put all upgrades scrapped this way into your hand. So make sure when you flip all 4 cards face up, take the upgrades and put the action cards in your discard pile. Next up is Turbo Boosters. This is an upgrade utility. It goes at the bottom of one of your character cards, but it can only be put on cars only. When you put this on a character, untap that character, and he gets +1 attack added to his attack total. Last but not least is Zap. This is an action card. Do 1 damage to an enemy. And that is the end of the battle cards for Wave 1. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please press like, and also to all new people who are watching, please subscribe to my channel and press the notifications bell button with the brackets around on each side. Thank you for your time. Have a nice evening.